Step 3 of our succession plan is to examine the various exit options available to business owners. We've developed a model that maps them according to their complexity and effort and time involved against the value that you could possibly extract from the business based on which option you consider. At the simplest, cheapest, quickest and easiest end of the scale is simply to sell the business to family, friends or fools, as we call them, where the business is not really valued at a great amount of money, there's not a lot of due diligence done, the sale is fairly quick and easy, but you do get a much cheaper price as a result of that. As we slide further up the spectrum, we get to things like private equity and venture capital, and even listing a business. Now, for most small business, that's never going to be appropriate. It's extremely expensive in Australia, no change out of $500,000 and often a lot more. Extremely complicated, takes a long time, lots of complexity and effort, and lots of risk involved. However, for the few businesses that can actually achieve that, you will generally get a better price as a result of that. In the middle of the spectrum is where most small business owners' real options lie. Trade sale, selling to other shareholders, and even things like selling the database. Lots of real estate agents, mortgage brokers and financial planners are very used to selling their database. They simply take a part of their client list and sell it off to somebody. As a result, most business owners therefore don't achieve the best price as a result of that sale. But it's a fairly simple transaction as well. As we get to the more common options, which is a trade sale and sell to other shareholders, that's where we're going to focus a fair bit of time when we look at our succession planning. Obviously, a trade sale is a sale to competitors, someone who's got complementary products, someone who operates in a similar area and product market to what you already do, and who may well be looking to expand. They're often an easy sale because they know your business and they know the marketplace, but they will generally undertake far more due diligence. And while we're talking about due diligence and valuation and exit options, it's fairly important to remember that when we get to the top end of the spectrum, things like private equity businesses, venture capitalists, and certainly anyone that's looking to list, will never go into a deal without looking at an exit strategy first. We often undertake due diligence for these types of investments, and the first question we're asked is always, what's my exit strategy? Interestingly, most small business owners go into business without an exit strategy. They go in with an entry strategy, they're looking at how they fund the business, how they buy it, what sort of business do they go in, how do they operate it, but they very rarely consider an exit strategy. And that's why succession planning becomes a big option, big issue for them as they approach retirement. The last thing we'll look at in terms of exit options is internal succession. And internal succession is becoming more popular now in Australia. In the United States and Europe, it's much more common than it is here for people to own shares or a percentage of the business they work in, or to be engaged in some kind of profit sharing plan. In Australia, less than 8% of employees are involved in any kind of profit share, equity plan, and option plan, and that's much, much lower than what it is overseas.